What is up, guys? Welcome back to another poker vlog. Back in Murphy, North Carolina, my usual place that I play. It's kind of weird to call it a home casino. It is where I usually play though for cash. So yeah, we're back. It's been a while because just been super busy with life, but I'm excited to get back in the poker streets, playing some 1-3 today. And yeah, I'm just excited to go have a good time and play well, hopefully. Anyways, thank you guys for liking, subscribing, commenting, helping me out every way you can, and hopefully we can keep this grind going and eventually one day get monetized. But love you guys and enjoy the poker vlog. What is up, guys? So been a long time, been almost a month, over a month since my last poker vlog. So glad I'm finally getting a chance to vlog and film a little bit. It's just been really busy at my job and really busy because I coach football, but the season's over. So hoping to get the vlogs up and rolling again. So yeah, gonna go over this firsthand. So I was playing at Murphy, at Harrahs, Cherokee, and River Casino in Murphy, North Carolina. And my hand in this is Ace-Jack offsuit with the Jack of Hearts and the Ace of Spades. Flop comes, or I should say that to start the action, I raise to 15 and get 2 calls, and the flop comes Ace, 9, 10, all hearts. So pretty good here, sitting with the a draw to the third nuts. Top pair. Not bad, but I bet 20, given that I was the pre-flop aggressor and get 2 calls. So not feeling great with the king and queen of hearts being unaccounted for. Turn is not a really good one, 7 of hearts. So I think I'm only getting called with the king and queen of hearts, to be honest with you. So I check, player bets for 40, and another snap calls. Can you fold when you have an ace and the jack of hearts, which is the third nuts? Sorry, that's my dog. He's eating a bone right now. I think you can get away from that, and that is what I did. I ended up folding. River is an 8 of diamonds, and a player bets for 100, and the other one calls. And the queen of hearts will be the winner on that. So, unfortunate flop. You can't, getting top pair with a decent draw is not bad. Unfortunately, you got to know when to fold, and that is unfortunately going to be kind of how my luck has gone the last couple weeks. So yeah, I lose that hand, and on to the next one. Alright guys, so next hand I have 7, 10 of clubs. And I'm in the big blind, and I check my option in an all-limp pot. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about in the big blind when it's all-limp pot. With 7, 10 of clubs, it's not a bad hand. I probably could put in a bet, but at the table I was at, I feel like I would get called pretty easily unless it was a pretty sizable one. And with 7, 10 of clubs, I feel, let's say if I put a bet for 25, I feel like I'm only getting called by way better. And any raise, I probably have to fold. So anyways, I check my option, all that to say. And the flop comes pretty awesome. It comes 6, 5, 4, 2 spades. I flop open-ended. I had checked in the dark. I always check in the dark whenever action starts with me because I feel when you are under the gun, when you are first to act, you can't really, there's no real great way to play that. So that being said, I decided to check in the dark so that way I would give the action to the next player. I had action checks through, and the turn is pretty gin. It's the 8 of clubs giving me a straight. I bet 15 because there's a flush out there, or flush draw out there, and I get called and then a raise to 30. And of course I call. I have a straight. I have one of the better hands. The only hand that beats me is 7, 9 specifically. But I call, and so does the other player. River is the ace of clubs. Honestly, a brick. There's really pretty much a brick, and doesn't really change the board texture. And a player lead jams. Player lead jams after I check, and player to his left is in the tank, and I call with 7. I call, and the player shows 7, 8, giving me and that player a chop. So I kind of like how I played that hand. Not bad. And yeah, that was that hand. So going to the next hand. All right, guys. So I know this next hand. Probably gonna have some people say, "What are you doing?" But listen to the action. So I have Jack 3 of clubs. I'm in the small blind. I typically would always fold this hand, but for this price, for $2 more, I'm gonna call when it's an all-limp pot. If you hear a noise, it is him. Billy! Billy, look! Yep. So, that's my son. Anyways, I check in the dark as I typically would when I'm first to act, and the flop is Jack, 9, 8, rainbow. I hit top pair with no kicker, and a player to my left, the big blind, bets for 20. Two players call, and so do I with top pair. And the turn is the 4 of clubs, giving me a little bit more equity. Now I have top pair with a flush draw. So that being said, I check, and the player who bets for 30 bets for 5. So that was interesting. I didn't really know what they were only betting 5 with. So yeah, my mistake. I said bets 20. He bet 30 originally. So I'm gonna call 5, as does another player. River is the 3 of diamonds, giving me a very disguised 2 pair. And at this point, I check. Player who bets for 5 bets for 20. And there's one call, and of course I called, and my 2 pair wins. I actually was against pocket kings, so I have no idea why they're limping kings. And yeah, so win a nice little pot, if I do my math correctly, over $100. So anyways, yeah, that was that hand, and it goes to show you sometimes if you have a decent hand, getting to a flop is the best thing you can do, and then doing well after that's how you make the money. So yeah, nice win there. All right, guys, just got back from the gym, going over hand number 4, and it's a bit of a doozy. Not really, but I'm playing against a really an older gentleman. Some would call him a OMC, which stands for an old man coffee. Typically, he limps very strong ranges and only raises his aces and kings. And I've got a couple weird hands with him as we go on through the session. But this first hand with him, I have Queen Jack of clubs, and I limp in the small blind in an all limp pot. That's something I typically do simply because at these Murphy games, regardless of what your holding is, you get a lot of callers. So I'm only going to raise my really strong pocket pairs when I'm in the small blind, simply because regardless of whatever flop, I'm going to always lead into them. Unless I spike like a hidden set or a super, super strong set. For example, if I had aces, I would raise, and then if I hit an ace on the flop, I would probably check it to whoever's left. But with Queen Jack of clubs, I don't want to raise and then somehow get re-raised, and I know that I'm going to get a lot of callers anyways if I raise it to 20. And I think I would rather see the board first. So I limp, and the big blind checks his option. Flop comes pretty awesome, and obviously I check in the dark. Flop came 8 of hearts, Jack of spades, 6 of diamonds, and obviously I checked in the dark, which is something I always do. Like usual, the old man bets for 15. 2 calls before me, and I call, and the turn pairs the board with the 8 of clubs. So there's two 8s out there. Still have top pair on here, and I check to the initial better, and he snap checks it, and so do the other 2. Interesting. So the river is a 4 of spades, 4 of diamonds, and I value bet for $25 because I have a feeling that any 8 that would have turned a trips would probably bet, especially a weak 8. And I get 1 call. When he calls, I know that he does not have another 8. Another 2 fold. He shows Jack 10. I show Queen Jack, and the old man is not happy. And I'm going to tell you that simply because I get into it with him later on in the session. But happy to win that. Small pot, but just remember that same OMC for later hands. All right, guys, this next hand is Very kind of sick, to be honest with you. So at Murphy, they do these things called splash pots, which means the house throws in $100 into just a random table's pot before it starts. And that's what happened here. So it was a splash pot, and usually what happens is typically someone's going to try to steal the pot and they'll bet pretty big, but it's an all-in pot. All-in pot, and I have queen, deuce, offsuit. Obviously, I'm going to play here because it's a splash pot. The pot's like $127 because everyone limps and there's about 8 or 9 people at the table. So over $100 pot, and the flop came Jack 8 deuce. I'm never betting here. Never betting here. And everyone checks. Everyone checks here. Okay. And this is where it gets interesting. Turn is the deuce of hearts, giving me trip deuces. I check, and a player bets for 20. And then another one raises to 50. And do I raise? Do I call? Obviously, I'm calling with trip deuces. I call, and so does the other player. River is the ace of spades. I'm not really afraid of ace deuce here. Very unlikely because I already have removal of a deuce. I'm thinking I could be going against an ace, maybe 2 pair. I check though because I'm ready. I'm willing. I'm actually kind of trapping here a little bit, but also I don't want to bet and then get put in a weird spot. But regardless, I get put in a weird spot. I check. Middle position player checks. Button bets for 100, looking kind of bluffy. I'm sitting here with, honestly, in my opinion, probably one of the strongest hands giving how everything went. Trip deuces with a queen kicker. Never, I don't think I can fold. I don't think it's ever a fold. And I call, and I ask if he has a full house. He says no. Okay. He shows a deuce with a king. So I lose the splash pot, and I lose over $150 in this hand. And it was just so sick because I literally have the second strongest hand, only outkicked. In fact, I think I'm pretty much good here most of the time. And worst case scenario, like I think like there's no way I just don't think there's any other hand. He had the one hand that could beat me in this situation. King deuce, so weird, so sick. Anyways, that was that hand, and it was a gross one. Alright guys, now one of the weirdest hands I've ever been a part of, and I told you the older gentleman that I was talking about, this is the hand he's involved in. So I have ace 9 of hearts, suited aces. I love to see a flop with those, and the flop comes pretty awesome. Comes Jack 8 5 2 hearts. Big blind bets for 15, and I call. Middle position being the older gentleman bets for 50. Kind of weird here. So basically what had happened was I guess he is a 3-bet. I have a suited ace. I call. Of course I call. I have a suited ace. Turns a 3 of spades. So complete brick. But what gets really weird is it's me and the OMC that are left, the old man, and he bets 75, and then he flips his hand. He says that he just wants to take it down, and he has a set of 5s. I don't know if any of you have ever been a part of a hand like this. He flips his hand, and he's way ahead. Don't get me wrong. I'm drawing to a flush draw, and not even the the 3 of spades is no longer live. So, or the 3 of hearts isn't even live. So, or the 5 of hearts. So very, very weird. I end up folding. And in Murphy, typically dealers aren't supposed to run it out, and I don't really care. But he ran it out just to see what would have happened, and he showed me what it was, and it was the Queen of Hearts. So I would have beat him. But I don't know if I have a big problem with this. I guess he saved me money in the long run, but also I think it's bad for the game. And also, why would you do that? He's way ahead. He's way ahead. I'm drawing to a flush draw. My ace isn't even live. My nine's not live. So I don't know. I don't know. I think he. Um, I'm not gonna say he's a bad player, but I'm gonna say if you can't take the heat, what are you doing? Because I guess what I could have done, I could easily probably shove on him, put him in a weird spot, because then he's got to think I'm only doing this with some sort of really really sick combo draw, like 9-10 of hearts, or maybe middle or top set. I don't know, but yeah, very weird hand that I was a part of. All right, guys. So the last hand of the vlog, probably why I really took a little bit of time off from making this vlog. Hero call gone wrong. I have pocket nines, and there was one player to my left who'd busted like 6 times. Seriously, he was probably in the game for like $1,800. Crazy. Just every time he'd lose, go and get more, go get more. And at this point, he came back after an hour, and he was sitting to my left, and he was picking up some hands. But what happens is I have pocket nines, and there's a bet to my right by a really good player. He bets 25, or sorry, he bets 15, and I call. The player to my left, the loose older gentleman, not the OMC from the previous hand, he calls, and then so does another player. So there's $60 to this flop. Flop comes, if I can remember correctly, comes 4, 6, 8. Comes 4, 6, 8. Two diamonds. I'm like, okay. First player bets for 15. That's the initial better. I call, and then the old man raises to 30. Min click. And then the player to my right, the initial better folds. So he was probably making a continuation bet with ace king. I call. I have an overpair. Then it gets kind of real sick. Turn is a deuce of spades, complete brick. I check, and the loose player to my left bets for 50. Well, he bets for 50 here, and he'd already bluffed. I'd seen him bluff 3 or 4 players. And I'm thinking maybe he's trying to get me off this hand, because 50, I guess theoretically it is. It's a good bet. Kind of weird sizing for these stakes. 50 is a lot, but I guess for the size of the pot, it's nothing really crazy. So I call though. I have an overpair, and then things get wild. The river is the 10 of spades, so complete flush misses. I get no real straights that, unless he flopped a straight, no straight jaws made it. I check. He bets 100. And I'm put in a weird situation. I think if he had an overpair to the 10s, he would have raised that pre-flop. So I discount jacks through aces. I guess he could have ace 10, but I don't think ace 10 finds a real $50 bet in them. So I'm thinking maybe he's got a missed flush draw. I really thought he had a missed flush draw. And for $100, I think, and I call. But you know what? He did flop a straight. He had 7-5 of diamonds. 7-5 of diamonds for an absolute crazy hand. Literally the most loose player there got me. And yeah, it was a crazy session. From OMCs to, I don't know, loose old man loose old men, I don't know. But like, it was a very, very crazy day. Different types of players. It was a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but some weird spots. But anyways, that is my poker vlog. I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed that, hearing some of my bad beats, crazy stories. I really wish that I could film at the table, but regardless, it's always great to be able to give you guys, what happened. But if you enjoyed that, please drop a like, subscribe, comment. I will see you guys. Actually, maybe I'll see you this weekend. I'm going up to Cherokee, Big Cherokee, in North Carolina to play. It's my grandma's birthday, so I'll be up there. So if you live around the area, come by and see me at Big Cherokee on Saturday. That'll be Saturday, November 12th. Come see me Saturday, November 12th. Sorry, Saturday, November 9th. Anyways, love you. Peace.